to Papa Smurf's Corner. And let me tell you what, as you can see on your TV screen right now, it is my privilege and my honor to introduce to you the 2012 sWO Rookie of the Year, Red Scorpion, Mark Hazel. How you doing tonight, Mark?
Fabulous. I'm doing real well. Thank you.
And Mark, whatever decided, you know, what ran through your mind to even get into wrestling?
Let's see, to ever get into wrestling, I never actually wanted to be a wrestler, to be honest with you. You know, I watched it growing up. My father was a big wrestling fan. It's nothing that I, you know, wanted to pursue totally. I was a big time, you know, bodybuilder, very successful in the NPC bodybuilding scene and doing well. I've competed nationally. I've competed, you know, all along the East Coast. I've done really well. But I never, to be honest with you, truly thought I could ever be a professional wrestler.
So with all that you were doing with the boxing and everything else that you were into before, bodybuilding, I mean, excuse me, let me ask you something. Do you remember where you trained at?
Oh, absolutely. I sure do remember where I trained at. As far as for wrestling?
For wrestling.
Oh, yes. Let me tell you. I trained at the Wolf Den with Wolfman. And I tell you what, you talk about leaving. I left the first day of practice, I swear to goodness, with a concussion. I took so many back bumps, butt bumps, flip bumps. I mean, I was Mr. Bumple Bubble. I mean, seriously, I was bumping constantly. I'll never forget that first day of practice. You know, had no idea what I was getting myself into. Had no clue. And after that, I can tell you, I had such a respect for these guys that I watched in the ring. Again, I'm a big fan. I never had, you know, thought I could ever be a professional wrestler based on, you know, my stature. I'm only 5'6". Yeah, I'm, you know, pretty muscular with my bodybuilding background. However, I didn't know anything about the independent scene. You know, only from what I watched on TV as a kid, you know.
Now, when you were a kid, who was your favorite superstar back then?
Oh, let me tell you. Let's see. When I was a kid, there was a bunch of guys that I would watch. For instance, you know, guys that, not necessarily that, you know, I like certain, not people altogether. I like bits and pieces of those people. Let me tell you, I loved Hulk Hogan. I loved the way he cut his promos. I mean, you talk about captivating a crowd, getting, you know, people like, oh yeah, brother, you know, take your vitamins and say your prayers. I mean, I was all about that. My father loved that, you know. The Ultimate Warrior. I mean, he sucked in the ring. You know, I look at him back then, I'm thinking, wow, man, he's awesome. You know, I had a little wrestling buddy. You know what I mean? The little stuffed toy that they had. And it was the energy, but I look back now and I think to myself, man, the energy that he brought to that stage, to that ring, to that arena, when he would sprint down there, that music would start playing, he's pumping. I mean, I'm talking, he would get me pumped. You know, and I really like that about him.
Okay, after you got into your career here as far as, and you're one of the superstars of the sWO today, my question is where did you get your stage name and how did the Scorpion ever exist? When was the first of the existence?
Okay, that's a good question. That you know, the Red Scorpion, believe it or not, was created years ago. When I was, you know, actually fairly young, and I say that as I'm old now. However, when I was a kid, I remember back in the 80s, I was born in '79, they had a movie called The Red Scorpion with Dolph Lundgren in it. And I loved Dolph Lundgren in that movie. I mean, he was a, you know, kick butt, you know, action hero. You know, he was the Punisher, which was another movie of mine. These are old movies now. This ain't the new Punisher that you guys probably have seen, you know, as of late. This is back in the 80s. And then he was in Rocky, you know, and Drago. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the Red Scorpion initially started with that. Also, and the movie was called The Red Scorpion, and also with the game Mortal Kombat. You know, when I was a kid, I played Sega Genesis. We're talking Sega. I never had an Xbox, never had a PlayStation. Heck, I had Nintendo and Sega Genesis, and he was one of my favorite characters. The whole "get over here," you know, that just power. You know, now I went to McCaskey. I'm a McCaskey graduated in '98, and red and black were the school colors. And I tell you what, nothing looks better than red and black. I mean, my eye is just captive. I see red and black. Oh, what's that? You know, I don't even see any other colors, to be honest with you. It's all red and black. I got a tattoo when I was 17 years old of a red scorpion on my chest. You know, I had somebody who said that I lived with him. I was emancipated because I was underage to get a tattoo of a red scorpion on my chest, just like in the movie The Red Scorpion. In the bodybuilding forums, when I would talk to a lot of the bodybuilders, talk about training, supplements, and stuff like that, my online avatar name was the Red Scorpion. I had a Red Scorpion avatar. I then created clothing to then go and to these events, and on my gear that I would wear, you would have thought that I was sponsored by the Red Scorpion. Yeah, it was like, what is the Red Scorpion? I say, oh, that's me, man. That's my online, name that I use in the bodybuilding forums. I'm the Red Scorpion, and that was before I ever even thought about professional wrestling.
And where did Beauty and the Beast come into play?
Let's see, Beauty and the Beast. The Scorpions, Beauty and the Beast. Well, as I was going through the training, I mentioned to Wolf that I had this idea, this gimmick to bring back the whole Jake the Snake Roberts thing, where Jake the Snake brought the python, to the ring, and how he just, would use that as an intimidation factor. And I asked Wolf, I said, what do you think about that? And everybody had their own opinion, but Wolf, he was like, I think it's a great idea. So you know what? I went out and I got a scorpion. I got a female scorpion, because females tend to get bigger. So I thought I could grow this thing up, nice and big. And I tell you, it didn't grow as well as I thought it would. Unfortunately, her name was Shadow, and she passed away a couple months ago. I kind of outgrew her skin and molted and unfortunately passed away. But in the meantime, because she was so small, I bought Black Beauty. And I couldn't think of a name, to name this scorpion. So I had this Name My Scorpion, challenge for all the little scorplings and all the scorpion fans to help me name this scorpion. So one of the names that was chosen was Black Beauty by Kenton Elliott, a young man who actually boxes. I think he has practice in Wolf's gym there. He was telling me, and it was the first time a fan actually gave me an autograph photo, which I thought was really cool. So he gave me a little autograph boxing picture of little Kenton Elliott, and he named Black Beauty. Then I wanted a male, so I went out and got a male, try to get it as big as possible. And again, the Name My Scorpion challenge went so well the first time with Black Beauty, I thought, well, let's do it again. So we did the, challenge again. We had all the little scorpions put names in the little bucket and stuff, and at the end, I picked from those names and that I thought best fit this particular scorpion, which, by the way, he's a beast. He's true. I mean, he's like the Matrix. This guy bends backwards. I mean, he climbs on this. He's really has crazy agility for his size, and a really big stinger. So the beast came about by, as you know, your grandson, Michael Conley, named the Beast. And of course, I had prizes for the kids, autographed posters, and things like that. Just a little something for the fans, because the fans bring so much to the sport of wrestling, and we couldn't do it without them. So, all the credit really goes to the fans, and that's where Beauty and the Beast came from.
Yeah, little Michael, he idolized you. You're his favorite, out there. And that all started at Zern's, when you were at Zern's, and he helped you out of the ring after it was a brutal battle. And you were tired, and we were shocked. He got up and he came over and he did that. Yeah. Another question I have for you is, like with all the wrestlers now, here you have full-time jobs, you have families. How do you balance that between work, family, and wrestling?
Yeah, that's a great question, because that's one thing that a lot of fans and people don't think about. This isn't even in the big time when you're on TV. Of course, they have that to deal with, but they don't have jobs because that is their job. This is a job in itself, but it's more like a hobby that I love to do, and it's a team sport. Believe it or not, I may be out there, performing as an individual. But trust me, I have an army behind me, backing me, helping me. My I don't want to call them classmates, but the people that go to practice, where I practice at the Wolf Den, they help prepare me, help to work with me, fine tune my skills to make me a better wrestler. We help each other. And without those guys, what are you going to do? Wrestle with a bag? You can't wrestle by yourself. It takes two at least. And the more people you have, the more diversity you have between the different styles. You have your big brawlers, you have your high flyers. We have a lot of variety there at the Wolf Den, which really helps, fine tune my skills for whatever I'm up against. And that's just that end of the aspect. But I also have the Scorpion Queen. The Scorpion Queen. Oh, yes. The Scorpion Queen backing me. I'm telling you what, she is a blessing to me, because without her, I couldn't do it. I have all these crazy ideas. I'm very artistic, even though I went to school for medical laboratory science. I have a biology degree from Millersville, and I minored in chemistry. And also got my certificate in medical laboratory science from Lancaster General College. But in reality, I'm very artistic, and I love, thinking of all these things, ideas and artsy stuff to try to, put into my character, and also to give to the fans, like the pictures, the T-shirts. Heck, I got rings now. Wait till you see the rings. I have these awesome rings, by the way, coming out that will be at the show the 19th. Scorpion rings. They're awesome. All kinds of colors, too. It ain't all about red and black. Whatever your favorite color is, trust me, I probably have it. Scorpion, yes.
You got one for Papa Smurf? 'Cause
Oh, trust me. It'll fit probably your pinky, but it might work. Necklaces, bracelets, all kinds of cool stuff for the kids. And again, without her help also backing me, trust me, I have to get permission sometimes. Sometimes I don't, and she gets very upset with me because I buy all this stuff here, and then sometimes I don't have the funds. Yeah. Well, I don't have the funds really to cover it, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, I push it. We don't say I don't have the funds. I just might be pushing a little bit. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it, though.
So in other words, what you're telling us is that you're not, because of your medical background, that you can, as soon as you're done with your wrestling match, you can dissect your opponent?
Yeah, I think I would enjoy that. Probably too much. Yeah, I had my share of anatomy and physiology and biochemistry, and I tell you, I probably have a field day with my dissected opponent carcass. Sure.
Okay, Red Scorpion, there's one thing else I want to ask you here tonight, if I could. When you're at either, any of the wrestling matches and all, what is in your mind as far as that are you concentrating more on the wrestler, or are you also concentrating on your fans?
That's a great question. I'm the rookie of the year, so in the business, these we're called green. Although I'm the red scorpion, I'm still yet very green. And those are all things you need to take into account, is the fans, your opponent. And I tell you what, it's a challenge. It truly is a challenge. I give a lot of respect for these guys who've been in it for years and are able to do the things they do, because I'm telling you what, as a fan, you think you can step into the ring and all of a sudden, hit somebody with a suplex or a drop kick. It's not going to happen. I mean, the ring itself, the feel under your feet is different. It's not like a floor. It's extremely, there's a lot to take into account when you're out there performing, and it's a challenge. It truly is a challenge. And for myself, you look at my evolution as I've evolved through the sport from October 29th of 2011, when I debuted, and on YouTube, you can see it on my channel. Just type in Red Scorpion Mark Hazel, and you go to the Mark Hazel link, blue link. You'll see all the matches there from
blue link. You heard that?
Yeah, it's
Everybody
a blue link.
Says
Says
blue
Mark
link. Papa Smurf. Just remember that blue link.
Right. It says Mark Hazel there, and it'll take you to my web channel. You'll have all the matches and stuff like that as far as wrestling goes, all the way down to my very first one. And I tell you, I watched that match back then. I thought, man, I'm pretty awesome, But when I look at it now, I'm like laughing at how much I really wasn't. I ran out there and I did a couple moves and thought that was great, but there's so much involved. And and again, you watch the matches as I've evolved over the months and years over the past year. And the most recent one, you see how the wrestler has changed and adapted. So as far as, there's a lot of things to focus on. I myself like to study my opponent. If I happen to know who I'm going to be wrestling, I watch video on them, just like on YouTube. And I tell you what, that way out on the match, I know what to expect. I know what they're going to do in this situation, which will put me in a better position. Because it's a chess game out there. I mean, you're fighting for better position. So and whoever ends up on top wins, for the most part. And can you be that guy that can do that? It's a challenge. So but that's one thing that I do. I study my opponent for sure, and I watch all their moves again so that I can better prepare myself. The fans, for the most part, sometimes, I know Wolfman has said in practice, you have to learn to tune them out. But a lot of times, there's a flip side to that also. You can tune them out to a certain extent, but I know also but you also have to listen to them too, because they can definitely help you out in the ring, to again better position yourself. Because believe it or not, the fans, the SWO fans are that other person in the ring. Sure, there may be the Red Scorpion and some whomever, okay, another opponent, and of course the referee. But those fans are also in there. And if you're blind and you can't see, well, heck, they can help you. They sure can help you. So they're that extra person that in the ring that really can dictate the pace even of a match, by whatever they're chanting. I'm telling you what, when you're down and out and you got a freaking giant claw gripping your trap and you're about to pass out, and they start chanting, Scorpion, Scorpion, Scorpion. Oh, you feel the energy from them, and I'm telling you what, it brings life into you. So again, to answer your question, yes, I focus on myself, the wrestler, and of course the fans.
Now, this might be a little controversial for you, but I'm going to ask this anyway. And I know that because these questions I'm asking you, this isn't pre-planned or anything, folks. This is just coming out of my head. And Mark, and when you see Wolfman, he'll tell you. What's the story? Why is Wolfman so afraid of you? You walk into the ring, or if you're on the outside of the ring, and even when you came to the studio tonight, he wants no parts of you. What did you do to Wolfman?
What did I do to Wolfman? What?
Is he afraid of you?
What haven't I done to him? Because let me tell you, Wolfman. Okay, here he's a great coach. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's really helped me, develop me. But you know, as I'm coming into my own, and you know, when we're out there competing, okay. Oh, it's another story. Oh, coach or no coach, okay. I'm coming for you. Okay, I'm coming for you. And I tell you what, we had a show at the Brunswick Hotel in Lancaster one time. And let me tell you, you know, he just happened to be in front of my face in my hometown. So I had no other option. I lost the contract. You know, it was a contract match that Rizzo won. Yes, Rizzo. She sure did. Hey, she won it, and you know what? She won it fair and square. And for that, I give you lots of respect, Rizzo. But you know, I just couldn't help myself. Again, the fans. Okay, the fans. You know, you could just hear them. They were waiting. Somebody's gonna get stung. That's right. You could just hear, you could feel it. And he just happened to be sitting there right in front of me, all kind of woozy, you know, walking about. And I looked at him, I shook my head and pop! Nailed him right on the head, knocked him right on his back. And then I got a little zealous. I didn't want to just stay with that. So I bounced off the rope, do a front flip, double leg drop, boom! And then...
So you were adding insult to injury.
Oh, yes. And by the way, that leg drop was a little low. Again, I apologize. Wolfman, sure, yeah. Things happen in the ring, you know. Anyway.
Did you folks see the smile on his face when he said he apologizes to Wolfman?
Right.
Did you see that?
Right. Then I call for the Scorpion. Scorpion! And I reach out for it. And it was Black Beauty. And my aunt, who was holding it, because it was a crazy match, all kinds of 6 competitors in there. Hands me the Scorpion, and of course, I drop it right on his chest. I sure did. And as she's crawling on his, look it up. Look up that match on YouTube. It's there. I get on the ground. I'm barking at the Scorpion. Oh, and it's you know. And I go and I trying to get it to grab his nipple, and whoa! I don't know if it stung it or not. I know he tried to get out the way. It was like you could hear the fans. The fans. Don't move. You could hear it clear as day. And I know the guy who said that too. They were warning him, and you could see him like this, froze. And he, you know, rolled off to the side. The Scorpion goes down.
But the Scorpion bit him.
I think so. You know, that's what I hear. You know, the Scorpion got him. So, you know, when you get in, that's another aspect you got to think about when you want to wrestle the Red Scorpion. You know, because when you mess with the world's most dangerous arachnid, there's that potential that somebody's gonna get stung. So, you know, that's something that those wrestlers got to think about when they get in the ring with me. Okay?
Okay. Well, congratulations on being the Rookie of the Year for the SWO 2012. We're looking forward to seeing you even get better as 2013 approaches us. I'd like to continue this interview, but I would like to get Wolfman's opinion when we go back into the other studio. So we're going to leave Papa Smurf's corner, and if you would please, they're going to put a tape on right now, and it's going to be one of your matches. And while they're doing that, I would like you to come over to and join us on Inside the Squared Circle.
Is he okay with that?
I think Wolfman, I don't know if you can hear me, Wolfman, but if you can, I'm bringing Red Scorpion back with me.